Let's see if we got any others on here. Oh, hell yeah. Foxy Dragon. We got little Bo. Oh, no, we got Trae Crowder. Yeah, that's Liberal Redneck. Excellent. All right, I'm downloading this puppy. Hey, it's your old pal, Jake. So that, what you just heard, was pretty bigoted. I read the channel title, Liberal Redneck, and I assumed, for some reason, the brain connections, that it was Bo of the fifth column. A man whose only similarity, apart from generally discussing issues of interest to the left, is having a southern accent. Well, in order to do a mea culpa, to apologize, I will offer one embarrassing true fact about myself, and also explain why that was bigoted and apologize. We took care of that. It was bigoted because not everybody from the South is a redneck, and Trae Crowder is appealing to a certain aesthetic, certainly, and he's doing self-depreciating humor. But that doesn't make it cool to just do what I did. In addition, here's the embarrassing fact. In the town that I grew up, there was a Chinese food place. It's not Red Star, that was Dearborn, but the Chinese food place. And the lady that owned it asked me my name once when we were making conversation, and I said Jake, and she heard Jackie and called me Jackie and continued to call me Jackie, and I didn't have the chutzpah to correct her. But unfortunately, the waitstaff there learned my name from the owner, who was a very sweet lady, and they all called me Jackie. And when I went there with friends, rather than having the guts ever in my entire life to correct them, I just said, hey, when we eat here, call me Jackie. So in my hometown, there is a not insignificant number of people who think my name is Jackie. I apologize. You shouldn't assume all people from the South are rednecks. That's messed up. Don't do that. So, Foxy Dragon has shared a clip from Trae Crowder, a.k.a. Liberal Redneck, a.k.a. the second person we ever did a Pixel Progressives on. Oh, I just finished one, speaking of, or the main, I didn't do the lip flaps yet, but the main edit for a new Pixel Progressives. And he is talking about Republicans' response to the Trump indictment. Good. We're not a big enough channel yet. By the way, if you enjoy this stream, if you think it's got value, give it a like, give it a subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with your friends so that we can attract a bigger crowd. We don't yet attract a big enough crowd that I have an answer to this question, which is exactly what Trae Crowder is talking about. What conservatives think of the Trump indictment.
What finally happened, Trump has been indicted by a grand jury for charges related to paying a porn star hush money. Boy, you know all the other rich, old, powerful dudes out there got to be going, wait, we can be arrested for that? That's like one of our main things, though. What's next? You going to tell me we can be arrested for throwing a hooker off a boat? No. But that's kind of the point, right? Is that nobody's above the law. Still, it's a little underwhelming watching him get indicted for that, considering all the other stuff he's done. It's like,
oh, he's telling a joke and I'm ruining the timing. All right. We'll replay. You know what? We'll replay it, the joke, so that we could appreciate it properly. But that does annoy me. I don't truly. First of all, I do think this is an appropriate first thing if we're taking that into account. But I really want to stress this. The order doesn't matter. There should be no consideration of the order. It's weird that it's something people talk about at all. I think it was just news anchors trying to fill time, trying to find a way to wax philosophical about this, but it's irrelevant. Did he break? Did the person do a thing? Was that thing illegal? That's it. The first part, did a person do a thing? That's the investigation, and that's the presentation in court. That's what the whole court case is about. Did the person do the thing? And the end of the court case is the judge deciding, was that thing illegal? So I guess that's not what the whole court case is about. They also debate back and forth, was that thing illegal? But the investigation into the court case, the investigation, and then leading all the way into the court case, did they do a thing? Was it illegal? You do that, or you take those two things into consideration and nothing else. And you have the court case as soon as you possibly can, giving plenty of time for the defense to ready their defense, certainly, giving every advantage you can to the defense, sure, in terms of fairness, but at the end of the day, as soon as that case is ready, you charge it. I do not care about the particular order in which we go. Okay, now because this is more of a fun video, let's just let the man talk.
For throwing a hooker off a boat? No. But that's kind of the point, right? Is that nobody's above the law. Still, it's a little underwhelming watching him get indicted for that, considering all the other stuff he's done. It's like watching the most vicious bully in your high school get in trouble for cheating on a math quiz. You're like, okay, but that guy poisoned our mascot and tried to burn the whole building down. Like, we couldn't do more. But some people are saying, like, no, the other indictments are still coming. It's just they needed the seal to be broken. Right now that this has happened, the floodgates are going to open up. They're all going to follow suit. And you're like, oh, so these DAs are like a bunch of Christians at a wedding in the South eyeing the bar. Or like they all want to tear into it, but nobody wants to be first because they're afraid of what all the mamas and papas are going to think. Okay. Either way, I'm enjoying this one right now. I'm loving all the reactions from the...
All right, I'm cracking up with my somewhat off mic here. Delicious. And for the record, it is just unrelated to politics. This is why every family requires a black sheep. We fill a role. Look, you need somebody who's going to be like, oh, you need the sloppy guy to be the first to take a drink. Here's a reason you invited your old Uncle Jake to the wedding. I'll give you about 3 fingers of Jack Daniels, please and thank you. Because you can't actually say shot at a wedding because of the rules caterers tend to have. Anyway, I'm just saying, appreciate your family's black sheep.
Right. My favorite part about the reaction so far is that they keep insisting that this is actually a good thing for Trump, but they do so while in the middle of a full-on apoplectic meltdown. They're just on Fox News like, I hope liberals realize that we think this is great. We're so happy right now. This is awesome, dude. Like, really? Because you seem kind of pissed off, buddy. That's weird. But have no self-awareness about how they sound, like always. Like, oh, you thought we loved him before. He's going to be our God after this. It's like, what are you, a bunch of teenage girls trying to piss your dad off by dating a bad boy? Right? Like, yeah, you thought you hated him before. Check out his mug shot. It's like, this ain't a CW episode. It's the White House, you children. Right? And they're always trying to turn the tables on us because they think that we're secretly all like them. You know.
All right. The teenage girls try to piss off their dad thing got me. Yeah, that has been kind of amazing watching that dual reaction of like, this is going to help him. This is going to help him. It's going to be great. Followed by, clearly freaking out about it and preceded by as well. It really does sound like somebody having a crisis and just like working through it out loud, I guess. It's bizarre. Fox is something these days, man. Oh, I really tried to mute the mic for that one. Didn't work out so hot. Fox is really bizarre these days. That talking point in particular just makes no damn sense. And I'm going to bring in a talking point from other conversations around this topic that Fox does not consider here as well, which is that we don't know what he has been indicted for yet. It's weird to say this is going to help him when you don't know that. Obviously, because of Michael Cohen's involvement, we have some idea. But let me tell you, Alvin Bragg is smooth, and this case appears to be RICO suave. I'm not saying that there are indeed a state RICO charge or whatever their version of RICO is at the New York level. But he's talking to more than just Stormy Daniels. We now know Karen McDougal's story is involved in this. David Pecker's involvement was highly looked into. David Pecker did this as like a regular thing for Trump, helping him conceal the payments. If that's a crime, and he did it regularly, and they had like a sort of arrangement where this happened, it's organized. They organized it. They organized this crime they do. That's organized crime. And credit where it is due. It's entirely possible. Remember the multiple streams that have been done where we go through all of Trump's suspected crimes. One of the main concerns is that the statute of limitations has passed on about half of them. Actually, now it's about 2/3 of them. Genuinely concerning. At the federal level, that is not so if they are found to be part of a RICO claim. I really hope, by the way, that Bill Barr, Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, all of these folks who abused the system of government that we have go to prison for their involvement in this organized crime. I'm going to go froth a latte and pound that baby, but let's let him continue.
BW episode, it's the White House, you children. And they're always trying to turn the tables on us because they think that we're secretly all like them. You know what I mean? That we're all a bunch of tribalistic idolaters with skeletons in the closet. They're like, don't you realize what this means, Democrats? Now anyone in this country can be indicted for a crime. You're like, oh, you mean like the law says? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm not overly worried about being indicted on account of I'm not doing a bunch of crimes all the time. And like, yeah, but your politicians too. This can happen to them now. It's like, yeah, provided they did that shit, in which case, go off. We don't worship these people. If they do it, take them down. We're not like you. Right? But my favorite thing I saw any of them say so far was I saw this Fox News host last night. He goes into this whole thing where he's like, really, right now, while we're so divided as a country, when we should be coming together.
Hold up. Let me play that last part.
Don't worship these people. If they do it, take them down. We're not like you.
We don't worship these people. If they did the crime, take them down. Do you remember when we were reading the Fox comments yesterday? I'll do a quick impression. Here's me. And what that translates to in sober talk is that they were all essentially saying that. Like, not all, but a lot of the comments were people being like, oh, get ready. Well, now we can go after Democrats. And it was so much fun to see the responses from people who were presumably Democrats being like, yeah, go get them. For sure. I would have loved it if you would have done that. They are so angry that, like, Democrats aren't investigated for what are obvious crimes. They're so angry that Nancy Pelosi wasn't investigated because she fully got away with it now. Her political career ended in triumph. God help us. So angry. She wasn't investigated for corruption. And they imagine that we are not. But no, my friends, we are in agreement here. MAGA, if you're joining us, God, I hope you are. I genuinely. If you have MAGA in your community that like MAGA supporters in your community, or really just anybody outside of the distantly far left area that I tend to hang out in normally, invite them on to Friday Peace Talks, because I want to talk about this. Because if my people committed a crime, by which I mean the people I would tend to vote for, I want their asses caught, indicted, put in cuffs, thrown in prison. I want them treated every bit as brutally as we treat the average arrestee. Now, incidentally, I also don't want the average arrestee treated particularly brutally. I want them denied their freedom if necessary, sure. Incarcerated if necessary because they are a danger to others, sure. But then healed, treated, fixed if possible. And I don't want my politicians immune from that. I do want you guys to catch them. We're in agreement. We both hate those motherfuckers. We both don't trust those motherfuckers. But the thing is, that's kind of what being woke is. Being woke is just the acknowledgement that you shouldn't trust these motherfuckers, even if you vote for them. So I'd like to invite you, MAGA supporters, to be every bit as distrustful of Donald Trump as I am of Joe Biden. I don't trust that mother for an inch. Be distrustful of Donald Trump. He's not your friend. Biden's not my friend. Bernie, I adore. I'm sure we would hate each other's company in person. Yeah, we'd probably bond over our mutual hatred of all things cool. But other than that, like stereotypically cool. But other than that, but it's irrelevant. That's the point. Be distrustful. That's a good thing to be.
Right, but my favorite thing I saw any of them say so far was I saw this Fox News host last night. He goes into this whole thing where he's like, really, right now, while we're so divided as a country, when we should be coming together, this is what the Democrats do. Like, all right, yes, the right wing, the GOP, the party that actively vilifies trans people and drag queens and queer people and poor people and black people and poor black people and Muslims and immigrants and people from the coast and intellectuals and people who read books and people whose brains work and just generally anybody who isn't a straight white Christian conservative. That party, they just want us all to get along, guys. Hey, y'all, back with more in just a second, but I want to let you know that once again, this impassioned screed is brought to you by the good folks at Private Internet Access, the world's most trusted VPN provider.
He was nearly as smooth as the Legal Eagle guy.
No, a VPN basically hides your IP, protect your online privacy.
Christ.
For mentioning limited devices. That's right. I love it. I'm particularly grateful for my PIA VPN.
Good Lord.
Button. Hey, y'all. Hope that ad wasn't too bad for you. I'm back now. I had a couple other stray thoughts about the Trump thing. Another thing that's funny to me is they'll talk about, how he's going to get out of it. They're like, oh, this will be just like the Mueller thing and the Ukraine probe and the 2 impeachments and all the time people on his staff went to jail. And it's like, so at no point in naming this laundry list of top shelf scandals does it ever occur to them like, damn, maybe we need a different guy. Like a guy who doesn't do all that stuff. Maybe that would be better, but it doesn't. Also, I've seen both interpretations of why liberals would mastermind this. They say it's politically motivated, but I've seen them be like, yeah, because they're terrified of Trump. They're trying to take him down. But I've also seen conservatives go, no, this is because they want Trump to win the primary. They know this will, encourage his base and he'll win the primary because they think they can beat him in the general. And it's like, well, which one is it? We're not Thanos. All right, what's our secret plan supposed to be? They're all over the place. They hate the timing. They're like, really? 18 months before an election. It's like, what? Yeah, it was the midterms last year. This is a campaign year. Next year's an election year. It's always
I always love when I can disagree slightly with a lefty. I don't see the same people making that argument. I don't see the same people. I have seen both those arguments in the wild, but I don't see the same people saying, well, they actually just they're doing this to help Trump. And to be fair, I only saw that once, so not exactly a massive pool of choices. But just like the Democrats are a big tent party, the Republicans are a party that have different, certainly less big tent, but different factions within them and different beliefs. I don't believe that is. There's plenty of contradictory beliefs held by all Republicans currently. So, all Republican voters, I mean, currently, from what I see. But that is not one of them. Let me make sure I'm being fair to Trae Crowder here. Play that.
We're not Thanos. All right, what's our secret plan?
Motivated
by seeing them be like, yeah, that stuff. Maybe that would be better, but it doesn't. Also, I've seen both interpretations of why liberals would mastermind this. They say it's politically motivated by seeing them be like, yeah, because they're terrified of Trump. They're trying to take him down. But I've also seen conservatives go, no, this is because they want Trump to win the primary. They know this will.
Yeah, okay. So he doesn't even. I did him dirty there. He doesn't even say it's the same people. My mistake. But he did imply that it's contradictory. And look, we wouldn't hold the left to that standard. We wouldn't hold Democrats to that standard, and I don't think it's fair to hold Republicans to that standard. To believe those two contradictory suspicions of the motivations. More importantly, I think, was before that. Let's give that a little listen. When he's talking about all the people, just give 5 seconds of it.
The 2 impeachments and all the time people on his staff went to jail. And it's like, so at no point in naming this laundry list of top shelf scandals does it ever occur to them like, damn, maybe we need a different guy.
Exactly. Republican voters, this we got to address. One thing I think he misses here is what we talk about on this channel all the time. They believe all of that is just Democrats trying to harass Trump because that's what they've been told it is. And there has been no proof to the contrary in regards to Trump. We have, unfortunately, those of us who follow these things have not done a sufficient job of showing the reality of the convictions of these people. Cohen and who's that insane cartoon villain that has the tattoo of Nixon on his back? Roger Stone. We have not done a sufficient job of showing that, yes, in a court of law, these things were proven with these folks. But at the end of the day, what's different about this is that it's Trump's turn, and it can't be ignored anymore. And the reason they believe it has just been Democrats trying to harass Trump is because in a court of law, things haven't happened for Trump. Just like we point to the 60 cases, right? God damn it, I hate that rhetorical term. Just like the folks on the left, whenever we hear about election misinformation, we go, yeah. What do the courts have to say about it? Oh, you couldn't prove anything because you have no proof because it's a bunch of lies? Okay, well, there it is. That's what the right does for Donald Trump. That's what they feel, and rightly so. If you don't follow this every moment of every day because your life ain't about this, because you've been told there's nothing to worry about, you've been told Trump's got your best interests in heart, and you only watch Fox News because you only watch one news show a week, and you watch about 15 minutes of it, you don't think Donald Trump did anything wrong. And you believe the courts agree with you. Because look at how long he's been in public life now. And all the things people say he did. Where's the proof? Where is it? It's important that he's been indicted. It's important that he is going to see legal consequences. And what will change about this is that it will reveal more than just the fact that Trump is a liar. It will reveal that Republican politicians are all liars. Every last one of them. They are liars. Even Liz Cheney. Even Adam Kinzinger. I respect the work they did on the J6 committee so much, but the rest of their political stances are nightmare stuff. And they lie when they give interviews about them. It's just about something people care less about, like dead kids in schools. This case is important because it will reveal that. Get ready for a major cultural shift. And, as I have been hearing now, also talked about on the major cable networks, get ready for a party switch. Number one, we need an all-blue 2024. We got to make that happen, in my opinion. But I also believe it's going to happen. Because the respect for the GOP has evaporated, and rightly so. I'm sorry, folks. And if you're a supporter, I'm sorry. I agree with that respect evaporating. But they're not going to disappear. And in fact, I was talking with my darling sister about this. We were walking around trying to walk off morning sickness. She's got baby number 2 on the way. And side note, my heart broke. Suddenly, my nephew is terrified of me. I haven't seen him in like in person in 6 months. Maybe a little like 4 months. But that is still like a third of his life. And, it broke my heart. He's terrified. But I was talking with my sister about this. And ideologically, there's really about this much difference between your standard Democrat, which is center-right, and your standard Republican. It comes down, I said ideologically. I should say when it comes down to what they vote for. When it comes down to it, no, there's not much difference. It's not going to require much adaptation of the old school Republicans' beliefs to become a Democrat. What I feel the Democrats should watch out for is that the party's beliefs will then shift as well. And they're going to go even a little bit more right. Just something to watch out for. Be prepared to deal with. But as I was saying, it's awesome. It's fascinating to see that talked about now, it looks like, in the mainstream. Folks, remember, we said it here first. It's been a conversation on Wicked for a long time. But I do believe it's coming.
Like a guy who doesn't do all that stuff. Maybe that would be better, but it doesn't. Also, I've seen both interpretations of why liberals would mastermind this. They say it's politically motivated, but I've seen them be like, yeah, because they're terrified of Trump. They're trying to take him down. But I've also seen conservatives go, no, this is because they want Trump to win the primary. They know this will encourage his base and he'll win the primary because they think they can beat him in the general. And it's like, well, which one is it? We're not Thanos. All right, what's our secret plan supposed to be? They're all over the place. They hate the timing. They're like, really? 18 months before an election. It's like, what? Yeah, it was the midterms last year. This is a campaign year. Next year's an election year. It's always something. When would you have been okay with it? When ever? Like, it wouldn't have mattered. They'd be like, oh, really? 21 weeks before a special referendum and you do this? Interesting. Like, they were going to say it no matter what. They're doing the same thing with the DA. They're coming after the DA now. They're like, oh, yeah, while shoplifting still happens in Manhattan. It's like, what was he supposed to do? Eradicate the concept of crime before this would have been okay with you? They just have no idea what to say. They're flailing. They're grasping at straws, and I'm loving every minute of it. Thank y'all for being here.
Loving every minute of it. Loving every minute of it. Yeah, me too. Yeah, fantastic. Guys, y'all are putting some delightful suggestions in. Thank you very much for that suggestion of Trae Crowder, Foxy Dragon. Very much appreciated.